Fuck yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon, really. Super Bowl Sunday, babies. Ghost energy drink, cherry limeade. I just thought I would do a Super Bowl stream. I will be watching the big game elsewhere at a party. ACDC 5150. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, as you know, so I don't really care who wins the game. I just want a good game. I don't really care about Taylor Swift because I'll be honest with you, I kind of like her. I know a few people who work for her on her tour, and she's very nice. Apparently, gives the crew big bonuses, like the truck drivers. I think she gave them all like 50 grand each for Christmas. So I just want a good game. Good morning, Nick. Good afternoon. I just woke up. I had a very nice and long set at the Comedy Store last night. Had a good time. Crowd was a little tight, but I eventually got them. Okay, I just realized my mic was not on. Sorry about that, guys. I just woke up. My bad. I'm sure someone will stream snipe that, but that's why I'm not going on any more shows. Oh, it was on. Oh, okay. There you go. What do you think about a quasi watch along during the Kings Bruins game? I could do that. I don't know if many people will be interested in the Kings Bruins game outside of you and me. Although, as a King fan, I was excited to see my boy, PL Dubois, have probably his best game as a King last night. Of course, he's making $8.5 million, so he better step it up. King fans are starting to turn on him. Good morning, random guy. I keep saying good morning, but it's what time is it? 12:08 p.m. But see, this is morning for me. Because I did about an hour plus last night in the main room at the Comedy Store. And I really am very lucky to get to do that because in the LA comedy scene, there are not a lot of opportunities to do an hour in front of a good crowd. Now, last night, they were not a good crowd. I won them over. But, it was a little, I had to work for my money, honey. So, but I will be watching the Super Bowl. That seems a little bright. Let's hold on. I don't like to there we go. Sour milk. No, they're not funny, sour milk. You got to come see me live. I did a few new jokes, talking about Sofia Vergara being cast as uh, Griselda Blanco. I mean, that's like literally the best looking woman on planet Earth, and you cast her as a girl who looked like Ty Domi. Stuff like that, you know. Of course, I did the classic Michael Jackson joke, but I can't say that joke on YouTube because it involves a few words that I'm not comfortable saying on YouTube. So that's the beauty about seeing me live is you get to hear all the dirty words, and you know, and I'm better live anyway. I'm not necessarily funny on this stream, but it's hard as a comic. You know, we are based on hearing reactions. So I could tell you guys a funny joke, and the best I could hope for here is to see an LOL in the chat. So hit the like button if you can. Subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate all that you guys do for me. We're 9 strong in here, and I know, Earl, what is the difference between 2020 and 24? Oh, arm cock up in this. Are you saying the Super Bowl's fixed? I don't believe it's fixed. Is that what you're saying? I mean, I do believe they want Kansas City in the Super Bowl, but I don't think, this ain't the '70s when, um, I think things were not necessarily fixed, but they may not have been on the up and up, because gambling back then was really not allowed in the NFL, but it was going on. So, um, I just think there's too many eyes in the sky, if you will, uh, watching. Although I do find it funny, the NFL, the NHL, really all sports leagues, they come off so anti-gambling, but then they are associated with DraftKings and I was watching some hockey game last night on the dish where I think they had a casino running a commercial. So all division winners, favorites, underdogs spread is the exact same. I mean, sure, there's anomalies, um, but I think it's on the up and up. I mean, I'm sure. It's not like I mean, yes, Kansas City has the Taylor Swift uh, factor in it, uh, but and San Francisco. It is a good story that Brock Purdy was literally the last player drafted. Um, so that's a good story. Uh, but I'm sure the NFL, if it was fixed, you'd want at least one of the Rams or Chargers in the Super Bowl because it's Los Angeles, the second biggest TV market. Uh, you'd want a New York team in there. If it was fixed, you would have found some way to get the Jets and Aaron Rodgers in. So I don't think the NFL is fixing the game to put the 49ers in. Earl, have you Grant Thor, a longtime comedy fan, saw me play at the Improv many, 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 many moons ago. Have you ever watched Power Slap? I think Power Slap's the funniest show on television, which doesn't say much for the other shows on television. They're supposed to be funny, but I mean, it's kind of one note. I mean, it gets a little old after a while, to be honest with you. But it is pretty funny. I can't watch it when the girls do it. Someone sent me a clip last night of a power slap. I don't know if it was the official show, but of these two girls doing it, and I was like, I can't watch this. Ugh. Well, I mean, repping will be key, sour milk. I mean, if it's a close to a late hit on the quarterback, Mahomes is gonna get the call over Purdy. But there's a lot of eyes on this game, I don't think the refs are, uh, in on the take, but you never know. I mean, what was that one NBA, Tim Donahue, he was on the take, so, anything's possible. Um, yeah, I mean, it's funny to me, man, like, this open hand slaps, but, it just lost. For me, it got old after like the second episode. I didn't really care about the fighters. It was just funny to me. Uh, and I get you want to do their backstories to make you get more into the situation, but I don't know. I did watch to answer your question, but it's off the air though, right? Well, don't get me started on the election. I mean, this might be the worst election in the history of American politics. Uh, no matter who you vote for. I mean, they're both awful choices. I mean, Trump is getting confused now as much as Biden. If you watch his speeches now, he does do like 3-hour speeches, but someone sent me a clip of Biden yesterday. And it was fucking scary, man. He's like zoning out, like this is a guy with the nuke codes. And Trump, it's just a scary with him having the nuke codes. I did think um, the debates will be funny. I mean, as a comic, I'm gonna watch every second. They need power slap and roast battles. Earl would always win. I will never roast battle again. And I usually never say never. Like, yeah, I could do it under I will never be a part of any show Jeff Ross has anything to do with. Oh, Rumble. See, I'm not really in on the Rumble. Yeah, I don't even know what Rumble is. I mean, I know it's another streaming platform, but Trump versus Biden debate in 4K. Well, I do have a 4K television now, so I will be watching. And you know, I mean, it's just there's so many side stories to this. All the trials Trump has coming up. What if he gets elected and he's under criminal investigation? I mean, he is under criminal investigation, but like if he gets convicted before uh he right before he gets elected, like yeeks, there will be no election at all. I don't know about that. Oh, okay, thank you, Grant. Oh, wait, we have let me get this name. I just woke up, so my vision sucks in the morning. SXFD7, $1.99. Love having an Earl pregame show. I wasn't going to do it, but I woke up, and thanks to this is not a sponsor, but Ghost Energy Drink, Cherry Limeade, they got me going. So I was like, why not? Let's have a good time. And I thought, all the other, this is certainly not a Dabbleverse podcast, but I thought all those guys are in Atlantic City, probably drunk, hungover, and sleeping. So this might be a good time to. Oh, you're right. I'm so that's how every time I get a super chat now, whether it's loving me or trolling me, they get the ray gun treatment. So let me do that again. Hey, look, everyone, we got a super chat from XS SXFD7, $1.99. Love having an Earl pregame show. And the great thing about an empty energy drink is it's a great back scratcher. A CIC in play. You're watching a movie, de-evolution. I mean, listen, arm cock up in this. I'm not trying to tell you what to think, but I don't think so. But who knows? ACDC 5150 did Earl watch old man Brennan versus Geezer Levy fight last night in the AC? Ah, even though this is not a Dabbleverse show, you can talk. We can talk about it if you bring it up. I won't bring it up because I just find that world so depressing. And the video footage from Atlantic City the last 2 nights it's really sad, man. Like, but uh, yeah, I mean it's pretty wild. I'm hearing rumors that Bob has been banned from the Borgata for life. Uh, arm cock up in this. Are you a conspiracy guy? I'm personally am not, but like I don't hate on people who are. Hell, I'm good friends with Tripoli. He's the king of conspiracy theories. Um, I know I'm not in the know, to be honest with you. I'm just a comedy soldier trying to do a Super Bowl stream, and and it's weird to do a Super Bowl stream because I have no interest in the game because my Steelers are out. I'm more jazzed about the LA Kings winning 2 in a row. Thank you very much. I might just start doing hockey streams. Fuck it. Yeah, I am a comedy soldier, sour milk, just trying to make it. I'm a soldier facing ageism at every step, but I still keep on going. I'm in it to win it. AJS, what is one conspiracy you do believe is likely true? I mean, I guess I'd say I believe JFK. I believe Lee Harvey Oswald had help. He wasn't just a lone gunman. Now, I don't know what I believe in terms of what the help was. Was there a second shooter? Was there, he did have mysterious trips leading up to the um, assassination. I believe Sirhan did not act alone. Um, he wasn't smart enough to pull off an assassination. But back then they didn't check for weapons, and like it's crazy now. If you go to any presidential dinner or rally or speech, you're patted down like 4 times before you even get to your seat. Back then, you could just walk in. Um, I mean, I believe, like 9/11, it pretty much happened the way it happened. I don't think the government was in on it. Uh, I mean, I just think if you, on September 10th, 2001, went up to anyone in the hierarchy of the CIA, the Secret Service, Black Ops, SEAL teams, and said, "Do you think that Al Qaeda could coordinate 4 to 5 planes um, and fly them into buildings and the Pentagon and all that?" You'd be like, "No way, they're not that advanced." And then the next day it happened. So I don't think the US was in on it. I mean, Bigfoot, I don't think there's a Bigfoot. Um, we've never found one. In 50 years, 60 years, we've never found one Bigfoot carcass. You'd think in 60 years we would have found one. I'm not asking to find 100, one. Um, Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there was allegedly a meeting between Sirhan and Eddie Nash. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with Eddie Nash, the Palestinian drug dealing, nightclub owning freakazoid. Uh, so, um, you know, I don't believe these guys are smart enough. They're classic targets for um, Sirhan Lee Harvey Oswald of grifters, loners, disenchanted. Those are the kind of guys stoolies, basically, that you can get to do something. Um, Happy Sunday, Richard Kish. Nash was a businessman and a good one at that. Like a scummy guy, but that was a real TV nationalist. I held up and I'm dying up here, and my back hurt. Because that was the last episode we shot of season one, and that particular scene, I don't believe the Earth is flat, but that particular scene took about, I would say, 6 hours. And that day was about a 16, 18-hour day. So, uh, and that was the last scene we shot that day. And everyone was exhausted. No one was in a good mood. Um, although Melissa Leo was very nice to me that day, which is weird because she yelled at me the day before. Because I went up to her at catering and said, "Hey, you're doing a great job playing Mitzi." And I guess that was like taboo to say to her because she wasn't playing Mitzi. I mean, she was playing Mitzi, but she's a method actress. So in her mind, she's playing Goldie, not Mitzi. And I didn't know. She started yelling at me. And I thought, oh, I'm being punked or something. And then the next day, like she could tell because I had to hold it at like a weird angle. If you watch that scene again. And she like massaged my back and go, hold it this way, it'll help. So, well, listen, Dingbat and Armcock. I'm just going to call you Armcock for brevity. I'm not telling you guys what to believe. Um, but, I do believe there are some weird things. I do believe, like, I think Biden won the election, but I do find it strange that this guy has been a politician for over 50 years. And I wouldn't say he's unpopular, but he's pretty generic as a politician. I mean, if you take away the Obama years, it's hard to name anything he did. He was just there for a long time. And all of a sudden, he gets the most votes in presidential history. Now, I realize a lot of people were voting because they don't like Trump, but like, he got more votes than Obama? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Uh, so it is. I mean, I walked Lois the other night, Friday night, and I said, I'll walk her in the neighborhood. Fuck it. And it was brutal, man. Like homeless people. It was like the mole people. What was that movie where the people just came out from under the ground? It was almost like Escape from New York. So, well, but I mean, Brian. I mean, but I mean, there's that, but like pre-Obama, like it's hard to name anything Biden did. Like, um, it was just like, and then he gets more votes than Obama. It just doesn't make sense to me. I do believe he won the election. I'm just saying, what did he get? Like something like 83 million votes or something? Like that's crazy. So, but the debates are coming, guys. And it's West Hollywood has different ordinances than the city of LA. Well, I'm telling you what, man, West Hollywood at night. Now, I got home last night from the Comedy Store about 3 a.m. And I knew Lois had to go potty, so I said, you know what, I'll just take her in the neighborhood. I took one walk around the block. I'm like, fuck that, Lois, we're getting in the car and we'll go to Beverly Hills. We literally drove to Beverly Hills, so I walked around my old grade school. No homeless. I mean, they don't fuck around in Beverly Hills. They don't want homeless there. And I'm not anti-homeless, but when you have to deal with it every night like I do, like, the other night I walked Santa Monica Boulevard at like 4 a.m. because got home late. Lois had to go, and for a little dog, she pees a lot. So I had to take her for like a 30-minute, 40-minute walk so I could sleep in. And I almost got jumped like three fucking times. But I'm a pretty scary guy, so and my neighborhood's getting worse and worse. And I live in like probably one of the richer parts of the city. Um, and I had to stop basically a home invasion in our building the other night. The guy broke into the garage. He's walking out with thousands of dollars worth of stuff, bikes, golf clubs, and golf clubs they are as expensive as hockey sticks, man. They're $300 to $700 a piece. They are fucking with me, Big Earl. No, I'm Big Earl. Sour milk. Uh, but and I'm probably a pretty poor fighter, to be honest with you. But I can handle myself if I felt threatened. That was my first set of clubs were ping eyes. Uh, and if I ever get back into golf, I probably will either get a set of pings or Callaway, the Big Berthas. I do miss playing golf, but I got spoiled as a child. My parents did not spoil me at all. I had to work for anything I got. But the one thing I was spoiled on was playing golf at Bel Air Country Club. Like, it's hard to play golf anywhere else after you've played in a country club. It was never really that crowded. You could play 18 holes in about a little under 3 hours, sometimes two and a half. Because, when I used to play, I was real quick. I didn't line up shots and like, hey, I'm not trying to get on the PGA Tour. I just want to play golf. So, I could play fairly quickly, but it's hard to play on a public course after that. Like, for example, there's a course in Los Angeles called Rancho Park, and I think it's set the Guinness Book of World's Records for the most played course in the world. Like it's crazy. Like there's a line at 4:30 a.m. for people. And I think the last time I played Rancho Park, it literally took 7.5 hours. Because there's probably on any one hole, if you play like say at noon, literally there's probably three groups on the tee. So you have to wait for them. There's probably two groups in the fairway, so they're stacked, and then at least one group on the green. So you just have to wait and wait and wait and wait, and it's 7.5 hours later. Whereas Bel Air, you just hit it. You might have one person in the fairway ahead of you, no one on the green, so they can play and like. Oh yeah, I mean that's when I first was introduced to Tool Army, the betting and the gambling that goes on at a country club. I mean, we're talking 10 grand a hole. I won't mention any of the members' names, but it was heavy action on the links. I remember one time there was a group playing behind me and my dad, and this one guy, his ball went into the woods, and I was trying to be helpful. I'm like, "Hey, Mr. C, your ball's over there." My dad's like, "Don't ever do that again." I'm like, "Do what?" I was just helping him. He's like, "They're gambling for 10 grand a hole. Let them figure out where the ball is on their own." Uh, um, I am an AEW guy, that is for sure. Um, but I feel bad for Cody, but I think this is eventually setting up Cody to go over the Rock, which would put him in another atmosphere. Although I don't think, listen, it's no secret how the WWE/WWF has treated anyone from outside organizations. And that um, people in the hierarchy of the WWE are pissed at Cody for starting AEW. I mean, he probably cost them money. Um, and now people say AEW is not really competition for WWE. Well, they probably cost NXT money then. Um, and AEW does have a great roster. So that's probably cost WWE money. Like, they could have Kenny Omega, they could have the Bucks, they could have Hangman, they could have Wardlow, they could have MJF. Uh, so all those guys are making money for the competition, be it WWE or NXT. So, this almost seems like a little bit of giving him the Sting treatment. And a lot of people are like, dude, he's won 2 Rumbles in a row. How is that jobbing the guy out? But, you know, he really should have won last year at WrestleMania. Um, but, The Rock's, I'm surprised The Rock's involved, um, given the Vince McMahon stuff that's coming. Like, and, every week we're hearing more and more about what a scumbag Vince McMahon is. Uh, yeah, I mean, well, you know what I'm saying, Grant. They do like to embarrass guys from other companies, like what they did with Dusty Rhodes and, turning Adrian Adonis into a gay guy. Like, what? What they did to Sting is still, embarrassing. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how it. I mean, I don't think The Rock's going to be there long term. Um, but the good news is, you could put the belt on The Rock and he doesn't have to wrestle at all. He can just hit the pay-per-views. And, the in between the pay-per-views, it's people wrestling for the shot at The Rock. Yeah, there really is sour milk. I mean, it's pretty wacky. Um, if even half the stuff I hear is true. I mean, but we've been hearing this stuff for 40 fucking years. It's just nowadays with, screenshots and video sharing and all the electronic investigative ways you can look into something. Like, you can't, this ain't the 80s anymore when it was just he said, she said, and she's a whore, just never mind. Oh, well, the whore has text messages. I ain't the whore. Vince is the whore. Um, so it's gonna be interesting, with now the WWE not being a privately owned company anymore. They have investors to answer to. And Ari Emanuel, like that guy's legit. So I'm sure he's like, yeah, no more Vince. Basically going to erase Brock Lesnar from the record books, like they kind of did similar with Benoit. And, we're, Ari Emanuel's probably going to Triple H. Hey, I got fucking billionaire investors to answer to. This ain't the mid 80s. Yes, Spurg, times have changed. Well, it's just harder to get away with stuff. Like there was a case in LA um, recently where someone murdered someone in like a nice area, Brentwood or something, and he dumped the body in a trash can like a couple miles down the road, and they literally through ring cameras and business cameras tracked the guy. The guy obviously said I didn't do it, but they literally tracked him block by block with the body, and they have video footage of him dumping the body in the trash can. Like you can't. Yes, allegedly, of course, allegedly, but like back in the 80s, you know, he could have chopped up the person, put him in that trash can. There wouldn't have been one camera. Um, I mean, hell, the Comedy Store has like, I think it's like 40 high def cameras all over the place. You can't take a girl in any of those rooms anymore. Hello. Um, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not. I've never heard Elizabeth cheating on Macho Man with Ric Flair, but um, I mean that is a conspiracy I do believe in. I do. Someone asked me earlier. about what conspiracies do I live in or do I believe in. I do believe Macho Man did something with Stephanie when she was not of age. Because you notice they never bring up Macho Man ever. Um, so yeah, we all are Big Brother. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. I mean, just what was it in July? So not just the other month, but in July there was a drunk patron from a West Hollywood bar staggering around outside my unit. Now it's permanent parking at night, so I'll guess the guy's car got towed and he was just confused. Did I park on this street? Or so he was kind of discombobulated, if you will. Um, and SUV pulls up, three guys with guns get out, rob him, beat him up a little bit. I mean, they could have killed him. Uh, took his phone and wallet. I think he had a nice watch on, and all of it caught on tape. And it's like, what camera would be outside basically my unit? And it was the hotel camera. I live across the street from a really nice hotel, and the hotel camera caught it all. So, it is kind of, I mean, it is Big Brother is good in that sense. Uh, it's all good, Spurg. You don't have to apologize for anything. Happy Sunday to you all. The Super Bowl is what time is it? It's 12:40, so we're about a little under 3 hours away from the Super Bowl. This is a stream that is really not about the Super Bowl or any of the happenings in Atlantic City. With the I don't know what the was it called DabbleCon? I don't even know what it was called this weekend. Uh, So I just thought this would be a good time to go on because there's not going to be a lot of people streaming because they're all sleeping right now. Well, that's a good question, Armcock. Um, Probably because he has stuff on Vents. You don't think Pat Patterson, like that? You talk about an old boys network. That is something that I'm convinced. You don't think Johnny Ace has stuff on Vince and Vince has stuff on Johnny Ace? And I mean, Pat Patterson, I mean, nothing was ever proven, but, every shoot interview that his name is brought up in, Sid has a story that Pat tried to put the moves on him. Uh, a lot of, Roddy Piper, I remember when I was co-hosting this podcast with him and I brought up Pat Patterson's name. I mean, Roddy's um, demeanor changed instantly. Like he was kind of hunched over. As soon as I said, I think I did a Pat Patterson joke, and Roddy just straight up, and his face changed. Like so, you know, uh, yeah, he was in a position of power, not just over wrestlers, but ring boys. Those ring boys are basically like open mic comics in a comedy club. They'll pretty much do anything to make it. Oh my God, if I set up the ring, I could meet Sid Vicious or, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, kid, why don't you come in the closet over here? And, they're in there. I mean, predators, I see predators every night in the world of stand up. I know how they operate. They dangle the carrot in front of you, and then they usually never deliver on what they promise you. Yeah, Dino Bravo. I mean, well, Dino Bravo just pissed off the wrong people. Like like you can't fuck over the mob. And the Quebec mob, uh, you know, they're no joke. It's like probably one of the most dangerous chapters of the Hells Angels is the Quebec chapter. I mean, they don't fuck around there, man. So if you're ripping them off, you're gonna die just like Dino Bravo did. Um, so, and yes, they could film Alien versus Predator in probably at most comedy clubs. So, and look at Billy Jack Haynes. My friend Jordan the Lion did a very good not interview, but take on the sad story of Billy Jack Haynes yesterday. So go on Jordan the Lion's site. YouTube page and check out um, the video he just did yesterday of the breaking news that Billy Jack Haynes arrested in, I believe, Oregon for murdering his wife, doing a Jack Kevorkian style uh, because she was very sick. Billy Jack Haynes, a very controversial figure. And he's kind of in that mode of Haku and Dan Spivey, guys you just don't fuck with. Like, you would not pull a rib on Billy Jack Haynes. Bruiser Brody, very Bruiser Brody-esque with his reputation. And, so that's a sad story. Just, you got to figure Billy Jack Haynes has severe CTE. And, that's another black mark on the WWE right now. I mean, I'm sure Ari Emanuel, who's probably never even heard of Billy Jack Haynes, is like, what the fuck is going on here, Triple H? And that's where you feel bad for Triple H. Is like, hey, I can't control every ex-wrestler we've hired. Like, but it's not a good look that, in back-to-back weeks, you've got Vince McMahon, basically being accused of rape and sex trafficking and all kinds of nastiness. And then Billy Jack Haynes, the star of the 70s and early 80s, accused of murdering his wife. It's been the WWE publicist is earning their money this week. So let me thank my tippers. I always like to thank the tippers. SXFD7, thank you very much. I appreciate them all. So Quebec Mafia supplied native boys to the highest bidders. Dino was involved. See, I didn't know about that, but it's not like I hear that and go, oh my God, no, that's not true. Sadly, I go, I could see that happening. Yeah, I mean, you got to figure, those kids living on the reservations, I've been on an Indian reservation before. There ain't a lot of money there. So you got to figure, like I could see parents selling their kids into sex slavery to make a couple bucks. I mean, I'm not the biggest Triple H fan for how they treated Sting, but I mean, he's the face of the company. Like any wrestling decision is on his head. And he's got to answer to Ari Emanuel. So, like, I'm sure Ari Emanuel called him this morning or probably yesterday going, hey, what the fuck? Who's Billy Jack Haynes and why is he being mentioned with my company's name? So, oh no, Jordan, I did not. Jordan, I was just plugging your video you did yesterday on Billy Jack Haynes. Very good. Please check out Jordan the Lion's stream. The best in the business. I mean, sadly, Arm Cock, I'm not surprised. It's just there's predators in every walk of life. I've done comedy at the Agua Caliente Casino in Palm Desert. Oh, Chumash has big money. By the way, do you think going to uh wait, hold on. The circle is in the way. I can't. Do you think Rick is going to interfere? I mean, I guess you could do that. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, if someone's going to cost Sting the match, I think it's got to be someone they want to have instant heel heat, like the Kingdom. I did like how the Kingdom beat up Orange Cassidy last night. I mean, it's definitely an improvement over Chuck Taylor. Um, well, I mean, I could see that, Jordan, but I don't, since Ric Flair is like I mean, his last match was almost 2 years ago. So he's 75. I don't think it doesn't make any sense for him to do it. Although you are right, he has turned on Sting a lot. Um, I mean, if I were in charge, I would say, okay, who's a heel that's not quite over yet? It's absolutely the Kingdom. So I would because eventually down the road, Christian and Edge will get back together. Um, I mean, I will say I'm starting to like the Bucks as heels and coming to the ring last or on Rampage with the bloody suits. Uh, well, the Kingdom does blow, but they're here. They're not going anywhere. They are part of probably the biggest storyline in AEW history. So until Adam Cole and MJF can, wrestle or whatever, uh, but he's close to 75. I mean, when I did his roast in Nashville in July of what was it 2022, he was 73. So he's got to be pretty close to 75. Um, I mean, maybe Edge interferes. Although he's already over. I mean, if you're gonna go the interference route, you need someone to they're kinda popular, but they're not completely over. Oh, okay, I see. Thank you, G, for the, Genie, for the, information. You need someone like the Kingdom to me is the perfect choice because 'cause they're just not quite over yet. But if they come in and cost Sting his last match, they're instant heels. I mean, Roderick Strong's already over, but Taven and, is it Jackson? What's the bald guy's name? Mike Jackson? Uh They need they need a little bit more. I mean, beating up Chuck Taylor, nobody really cared. Although beating up Orange Cassidy, that's a upgrade from Chuck Taylor. So, I think they have to eventually they're gonna have to go after Samoa Joe, which probably will be Wardlow. Um, Wardlow just doesn't fit in with that group. He's big enough as his own character to um not need them. But so it'll be interesting to see how they break. I mean, they did kind of hint a couple weeks ago when Adam Cole was like, Wardlow, you're going to get me that belt and then you're going to give it to me. And you could see Wardlow kind of go, I don't know about that. So they've already kind of given away where they're going next, but we'll see what happens. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Um, I mean, the Revolution they really haven't. I think Danielson against Eddie Kingston is the only other match announced other than Sting and Darby against the Bucks. It's crazy that it's almost sold out and you only know two matches. Yeah, I mean Jimmy Snuka, arm cock, killed his girlfriend and is in the WWE Hall of Fame. What is it, Carlos Colon? Isn't he the guy accused of killing Bruiser Brody? He's in the Hall of Fame. Um, I mean, if you were to do a moral background on most of the people in the WWF Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame, you wouldn't have a Hall of Fame. There's probably pedophiles, there's rapists, murderers. Uh, but I do like Roderick Strong. Uh, he's just over. He's got a good look. Um, Probably not quite big enough to. Um, you know, be the heavyweight champion, but he's good. He's funny to me. Um, I'm going to assume Big Bill and Ricky Starks will be at Revolution in some capacity. By the way, that Boss Man slam Big Bill did to Darby on the outside, uh, yikes! Well, I think even bigger than Revolution is what is it? March 13th in Boston, the rumored debut of Sasha Banks. Um, and I do think that um, the women's division in AEW could pop real because let's say Sasha Banks is coming in. You've got that new Italian broad from TNA. She's pretty good. Um, Jamie Hayter will probably come back soon. And then Britt Baker will come back. So, that's like four really good semi-new females uh, added into a pretty strong mix. Um, I don't see anyone on Sasha Banks' level, so it'll be interesting to see how they book her because, I like, I mean, her and Tony Storm, I'm assuming will be. I don't know what the next pay per view is after Revolution, but it's going to be interesting to see how they book her. Um, Brody died in 1988, but Carlos Colon, I think, was there. Um, so he's in the Hall of Fame. Like he's rumored to have been an accomplice in the murder. But can you imagine Puerto Rico in the late '80s? Like uh, they weren't exactly known for their investigative prowess. Uh, yeah, I mean the Gagne family probably has some shady shit. Uh, yeah, I mean Sky, yeah, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Um, so the women's division they could really turn it up. I mean, I think after Sasha Banks comes in, there's really not a lot of other women to come in and to bring in. So like, you know, I do believe Jamie Hayter and Sasha Banks would be a good match. Uh, well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, if you believe Tony Atlas, he insinuated, I think it was kind of a 2-on-1 in the shower. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of, well, I mean, I do, Hangman and Swerve, I was like, I don't want to see a third match between them, but that was a great match on Dynamite. That was a really, really good match. Um, I just feel sorry for Hangman because now he's lost to Swerve 3 times, I think. So there's really not. They have chemistry like Omega and Osprey do. So um, I don't know, Jericho and Cal. I mean, Jericho put over Takeshita the other night, so I thought that was good. Um, it's going to be interesting. How it ends. I'm assuming that at some point Omega and Callis will reunite. Oh yeah, Abaddon. She's good. But you could tell Dolph K, I believe you are new to the stream. Welcome. Abaddon's good. I don't know if I could ever see her as a champion, but like it's a gimmick. But she's good. So Jordan is right. The AEW women's division is turning up. I think the men need some new blood, though. They need, that's the one criticism I would give to the AEW brass is that you don't really see like an Abaddon of men in that division, like a new person, new blood. Like who's this young kid? They need their next MJF. Someone in the Indies who like, uh, would be good. I mean, of course, you have Osprey coming in. I think I might assume he might do something in at Revolution. That would be cool if he lost. I mean, he's already over as a monster heel, but if he beat the shit out of Sting at Revolution, that would be you definitely make him an instant um heel like of course it doesn't really make sense storyline wise. I don't think he's ever had an interaction with Sting. Uh but I'd love to hear the promo. Mate, hey Sting, bruv. You old man, it's time to make way for the new Sting or whatever. Um, I don't know if Vince and Sean were gay lovers. Listen, uh, am I saying it's not possible? Absolutely not. Um, like that's the thing with Vince. You could tell me he was lovers with Giant Gonzalez, and I'd be like, I could see that happening. Good point. That's why I have all my hair. Well, most of it, but
Um, so Bella Twins being into getting popped on them banging Johnny Ace to get them jobs. The guy who's now their stepfather's. I mean, listen, like I said, Armcock, anything's possible in the world of pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is about the only business shadier than stand-up comedy. Um, so, what was it? Sid Vicious had a great um, story about like he's on the balcony in his hotel room and like all of a sudden Pat Patterson just appears out of nowhere saying, "Hey kid, you're not really good technique wise. Let me teach you how to get someone into an arm bar." And he was like trying to feel him up. And obviously Sid's 10 times stronger than Pat Patterson. He's like, "No, I'm good." um I mean, oh well, who knows what's going to come out? But you can already with Janelle Grant, you can already tell what the defense is going to be because you can look up the Phil Donahue, Vince McMahon segment. I want to say that was mid 80s, 84, 85 ish, where that sportscaster, good looking sportscaster who you could totally see as a WWE announcer. Um, Vince was just saying, because this guy was accusing not necessarily Vince of sexual misconduct, but others in his organization. And Vince was basically like, "You were never good enough to work for me." That's going to be what he says about Janelle Grant. It's literally going to be a carbon copy of that. Well, it's not going to be a super long stream, Boulder Johnny, my main man. But we'll go for about another 10 to 15 minutes. If Vince offered me $3 million to pee on him, uh, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, like the $1 million man said, everyone's got a price. Uh, but I mean, I think Robert Schimmel had the best joke in this vein of, I think on his first comedy album, he said, "Someone asked me if I would blow Mike Tyson for $10 million." And I'm like, yeah, you know, that buys a lot of mouthwash. So Robert Schimmel, a comic that should be more well known. He's deceased now, but he had some great jokes. Hey, I went into the upstairs in my room and I called down to the concierge and said, "Where can a guy get fucked around here?" He said, "Try the gift shop." Hello. I asked him for turn down service. He said, "I'd never come up to your room ever." What up, Ross Incognito? We're about 10 to 15 minutes away from ending the stream, so people can get ready for their Super Bowl plans, whatever they may be. Uh, Schimmel's daughter's married to Rogan. I didn't know that. I don't know a lot about Joe's personal life, even though I've known him for like 20 years. But we're not like best friends or anything. We're not enemies, but he's always been nice to me. So, but Robert Schimmel, one of the greats. I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I think. I think it'll be close. And refereeing sadly will probably come into it at some point. Mahomes is going to get any call over Purdy. In terms of roughing the passer, could come down to the kickers. Your jokes sound like David Lee Roth banner during the pre-chorus. I love David Lee Roth. I saw him at the Porn Awards years ago, and someone was heckling him. He just stops the song. He's like, "Hey, your girlfriend just gave me a message, buddy." Boom, 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 boom. Then he went right back into the song. Score prediction. I mean, I'll say 27-23 Chiefs. The over-under, the Earl Skakel gambling hour is now officially underway. If you guys were listening the other night in my stream, when the Edmonton Oilers were playing the Anaheim Ducks, I said the Oilers were the over-under was 6.5. minus 273, the Edmonton Oilers. So to win 100, you had to bet, I think, $273. Uh, and I said, take the over and the Oilers. The Oilers won 5-3. Um, I knew the girl in the Yankee Rose video. My doctor says I have to have a laxative. That was my friend Maria Parkinson. I used to do so many comedy shows with Maria. And I have not seen her in 15 years. But she was the crazy lady in the Yankee Rose video. That Indian guy was funny, the guy who played the cashier. What did Maria say? My doctor says I have to have a laxative. And the guy's like, not in my store, you don't. um, and that was the prime David Lee Roth, of course. Prime David Lee Roth. On the road, Scott and Rick Steiner would open up the sliding van door while doing 70 miles an hour on the freeway and just start throwing food and other shit at the other van carrying the wrestlers. I mean, who's going to stop them? I mean, a prime, coked and roided up Scott Steiner. Forget about Rick. David Lee Roth did make the best videos. And that Indian guy was also in, I think he was in the video. There's a long form version of the video for Going Crazy, um, where the Indian guy has these two bimbos with him in the office and goes, Mr. Roth, can I ask you for some career advice for my girls? Try the quad burger at Earlverse. And that's where I got, for Just a Gigolo, a lot of people ask me where I got mama from. There's that scene where all the people are going up to David Lee Roth's desk. Mr. Roth, can I check you out for a minute, Mr. Roth? And then the old guy's like, mama. Yeah, Scott Steiner back then was fully on the booger sugar. Yeah, I mean, I believe that arm cock. I believe Earth's Burgers. I think it's still it's not the same, but it's a different location. Fairly popular still. It's, I think, east of where it used to be on Santa Monica Boulevard. For you local yokels, or like Jordan, ex-local yokels, Irv's Burgers, very famous because an old Korean lady runs it and like literally remembers your name, remembers your order. Yes, the Van Halen brothers were Dutch speaking. And the video for Pretty Woman was filmed on location at David Lee Roth's parents' house in Pasadena. Okie Dog, a great experience. And the alley behind Okie Dog is, I think it's Fairfax and Santa Monica. It's called Vaseline Alley. I'll let you think about that. Dr. Nova, it's all right. This was an impromptu stream because, Sunday nights is usually my flagship show. 7, or I was going to say 6 p.m. tonight, but I thought, the Super Bowl, people be tired. They'll be out at parties. So I thought, I'll do an impromptu stream on the Super Bowl, and we'll talk about whatever the freaks in chat want to talk about. You can do a post. I might later do I'm going to watch it at an undisclosed location. So I mean, if I get back relatively early enough, I might do a second stream today, talk about the commercials, talk about the game, talk about Taylor Swift, and then talk about the LA Kings, winning 2 in a row. I'm not sure, Dr. Nova. I'm not sure. See, most people in the streaming world, they just constantly stream because they need the cash. I got to bilk my fans for as much as I can, as often as I can. I don't do that. I probably will just do this stream today. But, I might get the vibe later on tonight. So we'll see. Of course, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. It will be the second flagship show. Monday nights now, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will do another stream, and then Wednesday nights, then Friday nights. So the new battle plan for the Earl Skakel streaming hour is Sunday nights, Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights. So 4 days a week. And if anything breaks out, special news, maybe I'll do an NHL trade line, which probably won't get a lot of numbers because I think a lot of you are hockey fans or interested in the trade deadline. But it is a big day in hockey. But there are not a lot of good free agent rentals this year, so the action is, I think, will be light in terms of big names getting traded. I mean, I'd be down with that. Um, well, I don't think Bray Wyatt was, Jordan. That's a good plan. I mean, I could see, um, it's a good match back and forth. Sting's about to pin, say, one of the Bucks. Doesn't really matter who. Um, and then either MJF, because I think MJF is better as a heel. But then that wouldn't really make sense with the Devil because they're the heel. Uh, Either MJF or the Kingdom or someone, a surprise, maybe Osprey, maybe Okada. He's rumored to sign with AEW. The ref is distracted. You know, Okada puts his finisher on Sting, puts the Young Bucks hand over or body over Sting's lifeless body. Osprey. I don't think Osprey would put Sting in his finisher. I mean that that could kill Sting. But yeah, I mean it's there's going to be a swerve at the end of the Sting match. Um, so I mean I don't think they'll drop the belts on Dynamite because this is the whole marketing around Revolution is this is Sting's last match. So whatever happens um, will happen at Evolution or Revolution. Sorry, Spike. I was distracted by Spike Dudley not being related to Bubba and Devon. Yeah, something tells me Devon's not really Bully Ray's brother, but. Well, they always say, that the saying in wrestling is you go out on your back. So, like well, I mean, it wasn't his last match, but when Shawn Michaels beat Ric Flair, Sting losing to Triple H, um, I think if Sting does lose, I mean, he has to lose because, the belts are, I mean, I guess he could just retire and you could say Darby can pick, the swerve could be that they beat the Bucks. Sting gives a quick speech. Hey, I'm it. You're gonna need to find yourself a new partner, and then the music hits of the new partner. Um, it doesn't make sense for it to be Osprey or Okada, but uh, and I don't know if there's any free agents. Maybe Riddle or Mustafa Ali comes out. It doesn't make sense to make those guys the partner, but I think Revolution will be a very good pay per view. Uh, because I think with Mustafa Ali is in New Japan and they have a good relationship with AEW, so I could see him. Now he's not the biggest name, but he's a relatively big name, and I could see Riddle is in MLW. I don't know what their contracts are like, but I could see that would be cool. Riddle and Darby Allin. Um, so I do think that there will be one surprise. Then, um, in the March Boston, I think it's a Dynamite. It's not a pay per view. Sasha Banks debuting. I think that's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's sold out in like 12 minutes. Um, So, I mean, Okada and Darby would be great. I mean, it makes 0 sense for them to tag, but, that's why you have writers. It's like when my friend in WWE, we were talking about, actually is an active wrestler in WWE, and we're friendly, and we DM each other periodically, and he's like, "Well, who do you want to be the devil?" And I told him I wanted Ziggler as the devil, Riddle and Mustafa Ali as the henchman, and then the fourth one you could be like either Kyle O'Reilly or, because of his ex association with Wardlow and MJF, Sean Spears. And he was like, "Dude, it makes no sense for Dolph to be the devil." I'm like, "Well, you make it make sense. Um, you have writers make it make sense. You could kind of go back to, um, maybe Ziggler had beef with MJF when he was a security guard for WWE. I think WWE or TNA. Remember that one scene where Samoa Joe just kind of blows by him and pushes him out of the way? You could make it's pro wrestling. It doesn't have to make complete sense. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man off. Oh, I see what you did there. I mean, everyone steals in wrestling, arm cock. It's like stand up. Uh, Kongzilla, Earl must be. I do like a dark crib. You think it's dark back there? You should see this area. It's even darker. I would do the stream over there in that corner. I'm a creature of the night, even in the daytime. So, how's this Ric Flair energy drink? I haven't got it yet because you have to order it from his website, and I think the minimum order is 12. And like, if I don't like it, I don't want to be stuck with 11 cans of the shit. Um, but I love the dark. Even as a kid, I've always loved the dark. I just, I'm the Undertaker, man. I'm the Grim Reaper. That's why I love stand-up comedy. It's a nighttime business. Um, and I think the Ric Flair energy drink is like mushroom based. Mama. I am the Hollywood vampire. And I typically don't like mushroom based drinks. I've had a few, and they're kind of nasty tasting. I mean, the mushroom is not a tasty item of food. It's more tasty because of what you put. Like a burger with mushrooms is good because the burger's the main taste flavor. Um, I don't know what you're talking about with Rhea Ripley. Um, she's cute in a weird way. Good for Buddy Matthews. Oh, I didn't see it. Jordan, can you Instagram it to me right now? I'm on my Instagram. It's open, I should say. I'm not on it. Um, let's see. The mushroom is a sponge to soak up whatever good stuff you may or may not put on it. But I mean, like I like I mind mushrooms in like an omelet, because the eggs are the primary taste um, component. But a mushroom alone, um, not a fan of. So that's why I can't imagine the Ric Flair energy drink tasting good. Um, but everyone, I know people who love raisins. Uh, raisins to me are pretty bland. Uh, well, Conzilla, my new rule is all Dabbleverse questions $30 and up. But since you're a long time contributor, I'll let this one slide. Because I don't, they all stream snipe everyone. And so that's why I'm not going to be fodder for someone else's fucking stream. Uh, But, you've been along, if this was a new listener in chat, I would say 30 hooves, but, I'll give you a one-time, credit. Um, it's kinda sad, to be honest with you. Like, I saw, Stuttering John melting down on Melton, pardon the pun, and I just felt, like, bad for the guy. Why I do the $30 and up for Dabbleverse questions, not to, like, bilk my fans for money, but, this is, a positive stream, so, obviously, if you bring up the Dabbleverse or talk about it, hello, Kay, I will see you in Vegas, uh, it's just you get roped into the negativity. I felt, like, sad watching Stuttering John, like, here's a guy who you know, on the Howard Stern show, the Tonight Show, and now he's arguing with a podcaster, kind of drunk, stumbling around the floor of a shitty casino in Atlantic City. And then I just saw the Levy Kevin Brennan fight, or whatever you want to call it. I felt sad too. I mean, here are, I mean, I really love Kevin Brennan as a comic. And Bob, I'm cool with Bob. And it's like, Jesus, you guys are in your 60s, man. Like, this is like a YouTube argument on the floor of a casino. Um, well, I'm excited to finally meet UK. So I probably won't do the podcast at Hackamania because I don't want to get roped in because I know they're all going to be just shit talking affairs. I want to do the comedy shows. I go where the crowds are. Um, Atlantic City made more money off the losers. Yeah, I mean, uh, listen, I'm sure Atlantic City loves the. Does it have a name? What's going on this weekend? I know more people are coming today, and I'm sure tomorrow will be quite popular on the streams doing recaps. But it just made me sad. Like, I wish all these guys would devote, devote, devote this energy into stand up. I mean, how much better would the world of stand up be if Kevin were in it, if Melton were in it? Um, you know, but that it's their thing. I get it. It's why they have literally 1,000 people in their streams and I have 20. But I'd rather do this uh, and be in a good mood after I end the stream than make a few $100 talking shit about people I'll probably never be in a room with. So, well, I think his show was last night. 100% K. And I'm not really tempted. Like, I know if I got involved and started roasting people and then they talk shit about me, I know I would make easily $200 a stream. Uh, hey Earl, roast this person, $20. Hey Earl, roast Brennan, $20. I just, I'm good. Um, it's just not my thing. So, yeah, I mean, if I had Cat Williams on, it probably would blow me up. Hey, free T-shirt's a free T-shirt. Uh, well, I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand like the fascination with Stuttering John. Like, I just don't get it. Like, uh, and I've done one show with him, which is why I never really participated a lot in that sector of the Dabbleverse world. I did one show with him at the Comedy Store. Like, that's literally my whole experience. I think I did the Miserable Men show with Shuley 2 or 3 times. I texted him after the last one. I forget exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, "Hey, bro, I got nothing. Like, I have nothing left to say on Stuttering John. Like, I just don't have any, um, and I feel bad, like, for Stuttering John because, now people are bringing his kids into it, and that's a whole nother level of just, like, to me, what's against the grounds of, whatever. But, it's in too deep now. I mean, I just You're making fun of a guy who was on Howard Stern, but he was on Howard Stern because he stuttered. Like, it could have been me if I stuttered. And then, so I don't know. So I hope that answers your question, Kongzilla. I mean, I know there's going to be more drama today. Gino's there. I mean, all the players are there. Stevie Lou's coming in today, and um, Ray DeVito's coming in today. uh, You know, uh, so I just don't. Like, I had zero. People were asking me, "Am I going to Atlantic City?" It's like, no. Uh, I mean, the only reason I'm going to Vegas is because I can drive to it. And, there's going to be payment involved. Because I told Melton, listen, I'm not going unless I'm getting paid. And he's like, yeah, I'll pay you, I don't know how much yet. And I'm like, I'm not leaving LA until I find out, hey, you're getting at least 500 more if there's more. Okay, no problem. For me to drive to Vegas now, I will have a new car at that time because my lease is up in, I think, 2 months. Uh, so Um, but just getting to Vegas gas wise and my Jeep would be probably $200. So, I would need like, say, 500 just to and that's not even me barely making any money, food and, well, I don't drink, but you know, uh, I'm not staying in the Airbnb house. I'm staying in my own room. I'll stay at, I mean, I'll have to research K where uh, the comedy show's at, and I'll pick a hotel that's somewhat near there. I love having my own car in Vegas, and nothing against. I'm not going to be involved. I got to stay true to my brand. I'm not a Dabbleverse, uh, participant. So I'm not going to stay in that, because it's they're going to be podcasting 24/7. Hey, Earl, talk shit about Levy or Stuttering John or Chad or like, no, man. I just want to do the stand-up shows. I'll watch the podcast and stuff, but I don't want, I don't know Carl, so you know, it'll be interesting to meet him, I guess. But um so, yeah, I mean, I like, I'm a weird guy at night. Like, I watch TV till 4 or 5 in the morning. I'll take a bath at 6 in the morning and go back to bed. Like, so I'm not going to live in a frat house with a bunch of streamers and comics. So, I need not even my privacy, but I like to go on the computer at 3 p.m. and then take a nap for 2 hours. I'm not going to be able to nap at that house. Um, so we'll see. It should be fun, but it will be a very nice to meet you, Kay. Dr. Nova, the Dabbleverse is a group of comics and streamers who all talk shit about each other. And I've been a guest on many Dabbleverse shows. I've been on Ray DeVito's show. I've been on MSC a bunch. Um, I like to say I'm Dabbleverse adjacent. Um, and you can make a living with these stream wars. Chad and Melton and MLC and the Shuley Network and Levy Land, Levy Verse. You know, you basically have people pay you to talk shit about the other people. So that's not my jam. So um, that's what the Dabbleverse is. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know where I would. I'm like Mr. T. Like, I was in a WrestleMania, but I'm not a wrestler. Uh, but and it's not even really tempting knowing that I could make 10 times the money I make now if I just got involved and started shit talking everyone. Uh, because I don't believe there's anyone in the Dabbleverse world that could hang with me roasting. So I'm sure it would be fun if me and Kevin Brennan went at it. But I don't have that energy, man. Like, I'm happy in my comedy life. Uh, so, like, I got to play a sold out show in the main room of the Comedy Store last night. I'm good. Um, the stream is actually fun for me, talking for what, an hour and a half now, almost an hour, just about everything but the Dabbleverse. But it's also brought a lot of cool people into my life. Like, I wouldn't have known Kay if not for the Dabbleverse, or Kongzilla, or um, I mean, I'm friends with Shuley. I wouldn't have known Shuley. Kevin Brennan is really my first introduction into that land. Obviously, I'm friends with Chad. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna sleep at Content House. Content House for me will be room 505 at the Fairmont. Um, it'll be fun. I mean, I think the comedy shows will be good. I mean, it's a good group of uh comics. Melton's a funny comic. Ray's funny. I don't know if Carl's necessarily a comic, but and I'm sure some Vegas comics will pop in. Adam Dominguez, and I don't know, a couple other people who are there. Um, so yeah, I mean, okay, I need my privacy. Because I'm going to need to work out at some point. It's a 24-hour fitness I used to go to in Vegas. Um, I'm a rogue operative in the daytime. I'll wake up at noon, I'll go work out, I'll come back and sleep, then I'll go eat, and then I'll show up, do the comedy show, hang out with you guys, and then go back to sleep. It's a, because I don't drink or gamble. So Vegas to me is like the worst. Like, there's nothing of interest to me in that city. I mean, it is fun to walk around the casino and see all the losers betting their, dividend checks. And I do like the sports books. They are fun. There's a lot of riffraff in the sports books. Um, but, well, some fan had a sting cut out where, Jordan. Um, and, it'll be nice to meet, like, hey, you're like me, like, you're Dabbleverse adjacent. You're not in the Dabbleverse, but you're a fan of it or whatever. It'll be nice to meet normal people like you. And, I mean, the Vegas comics always treat me very well. So, I don't play Vegas a lot. I mean, it's got a lot of comedy clubs, but not a lot of good ones. I mean, probably the best comedy club in Vegas is the Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. But there you have to stay the whole week. It's kinda like the Laugh Factory in Reno. Like, I don't wanna stay in Vegas the whole week, or Reno, Jesus. But some of my friends love it. I mean, Nikki Paris, my good friend, very funny comic, he loves playing the Laugh Factory in Reno, and it's 2 shows a night. I mean, 14 shows, which I don't mind the number of shows, but, you're playing to local tourists and, just Vegas regulars. It's not really my fan base. And I'm at the point now where, I want to play in front of my fans. I don't want to have to win the crowd over, just to get them going. So fire off any last minute questions. We're going to cut the stream in about 5 minutes. I might do another one tonight. Probably not, but, never say never. Me and Lois are open schedule today. So, um, you know, bounce around to a few Super Bowl parties, and then take Lois for a long walk, and then maybe come back and feel it. What's dating like in LA these days? I mean, you know, it's tough, especially in my world, because all I'm around are comics. Like, I'm not around 55-year-old women, so like I'm around comics who are 20 to 25 years younger than me, which have been my last few girlfriends. So, and I'm single now, so obviously that's not a great dating strategy. But it's like last night at the store. I'm around probably 20 female comics who are all in their 20s and 30s. Now I wasn't around one 55-year-old woman last night. So, for me it's tough, but I'm sure for others it's easy. You know, I'm a dating soldier. I'm like a comedy soldier. I'm just a soldier. So, but and I get the girls who have daddy issues, grandfather issues, uncle issues. There's no women at the country club. I can assure you of that. I remember one time I met a member's daughter at Bel Air Country Club. Uh, I'm like, geez, seeing a good-looking girl at the Bel Air Country Club was like seeing a woman at Liberace's pool. Um, is the ex-girlfriend still in Cali, or did she split the state? I haven't seen one thing from her since on X. I used to see quite a bit when you dated. Um, I don't know, to be honest with you. We haven't talked in almost 2 years. So, I don't know. I reached out to her when a mutual friend of ours committed suicide, Jack Knight, very funny comic, about a year ago. Heard nothing back. So, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not playing dumb. I would answer the question if I knew the answer. Ross Incognito, 4.99. Give us a few Night Slasher lines, Daddy Man. You pay for the privilege. He didn't have a lot of lines, to be frank. Um, yeah. I'm a professional voiceover guy, so I have to warm it. You just don't go right into Night Slasher lines. So, 2, 3, 4. Me. Ma. Boing, 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 boing. Boing, boing, boing. Ma. Hello. Boing, 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 boing. 'Cause she's bittersweet. She knocks me off of my feet, and I can't sell when no one anyone can. She's a mystery. She's too much for me, but I keep coming back for more. She's just the girl I'm looking for. She can't keep a secret for more than an hour. Do. She runs on 100 proof attitude power. Do. All right. Night Slasher lines. The filthy society is breeding us. Even I have rights. Pig. They'll say I'm insane. If you take me in. But you did pay $4.99. I should give you a little more. Hold on. Ross Incognito requested it for $4.99. I'm trying to think of more of his lines. I'm drawing a blank right now on his lines. Even I have rights. Pig. They'll say I'm insane. If you take me in. Wrong. This is where the law stops and I start. Sucker. I hope that was good enough, Ross. For $4.99, I respect the value of the super chat. Thank you very much. Daddy Man is like a two-stroke boat meter powered dildo, a bit loud, greasy, and over the top, but gets the job done like no other with incredible tongue and fine variable acceleration. That was way too deep for this stream, but I appreciate you. I have you on PC and KB live from AC. I appreciate that. Kongzilla on phone. Ross incognito. Nice. I'm glad you are pleased. You know, it's tough to do Night Slasher lines because he didn't have a lot of lines in the movie. Just the end where him and Stallone are battling. But since you did pay $4.99, you know, I'll give you a little bit of Vernon Wells at the end of Commando. I don't need the gun, John. A little bonus. Come on, Bennett. Hold on. There's just a couple lines from Commando for Ross Incognito. And action. Come on, Bennett. Hold on. Come on, Bennett. Stick the knife in me. Don't deny yourself the pleasure. Come on, Bennett. Let's party. I don't need the gun, John. I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot you in the balls. It's a Vernon Wells from Commando. And this is for Ross. Since the Night Slasher doesn't have a lot of lines, this is Bill Duke and Arnold fighting in the hotel room. Scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be. Because this Green Beret's going to kick your ass. I ate the Green Berets for breakfast. And right now I'm very hungry. We'll take Cook's car. He won't be needing it. Thank you, Tool Army. It's my Rambo hunting knife that my friend Mikey D. DeGorio gave me when the Rodney King protests hit the streets. Now, unbeknownst to my friend Mikey D, I lived on the 19th floor in Century City. They weren't going to get to me. But, you know, the last few riots did get to me, you know, right on Melrose, Santa Monica. Like, I've never been so happy to be living by the sheriff's station. So before we end the stream, I like to thank my tippers, fan funding, if you will, SXFD7, thank you very much, and Ross Incognito, thank you very much. This is the non penny pinching stream. I haven't asked for money once because I don't need it. But I like it. Come on, guys. Super chat me. Don't deny yourself the pleasure. This knife is sharp as shit, too. Ow. So I will also, for $10 and up, do lines from Take It in the Ass 7 from Peter North. Hello. Hello, Luna Shtick. We're about to end the stream, but we appreciate you joining us. It's always fun to have some fans in the chat room. Good show last night at the Comedy Store. I had to follow George Perez and the lovely Jessica Michelle Singleton. Hot crowd. And I did about an hour and 10 minutes. When I go on last in the main room, the sound guy, Danny, who was in the 80s band The Zeros. See ya, Boulder Johnny. Take the Chiefs +2, I believe. I don't think San Francisco is going to win by. I don't think they're going to win, but I definitely don't think they're going to win by 2 TDs. Josh Martin is in New York now, so no, I did not follow Josh Martin. I did pull up at the same time Leslie was leaving, and she glared at me. So there's that. That's more than I've gotten from her. The next stream might be tonight, Luna. I'm going to a few Super Bowl parties and whatnot. So, and I know tonight will probably be heavy in the Dabbleverse world, doing recaps of what happened. And I understand people want to listen to that hot garbage. So I don't really want to do another 2-hour stream in front of, 12 people, but I will. But the next for sure stream will be tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Monday night, Earlverse style. I will be, my two flagship shows now will be Sunday night I'm going to experiment with going live at 6 p.m. next Sunday, and then Monday nights 5 p.m. And then we'll do a Wednesday night show. I'm not sure the time because I'm trying to be cognizant that the East Coast people are going to sleep. If I do it at like 6 or 7 p.m. my time, that's late for people on the East Coast. So, and then Friday nights I'll do a stream, and Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, and then we'll if there's like a special event that happens on a Thursday night, breaking news, maybe an election coverage or something along those lines. Um, uh, I'll pop on. I'll probably do a stream for the NHL trade deadline, which is for the hockey fans. Yeah, lunchtime stream. I've experimented. I've noticed with in terms of numbers that my nighttime streams or early evening streams definitely do better. Like right now we have 11 people in here. Now I'm happy for that, but I think Sunday nights I would say the peak average on Sunday nights is 70. And then, 2 Sundays ago, I had like 120 likes. Right now I only have like 25. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I think for my fan base or whatever you want to call it, early evenings is probably the best time. But, every now and then I'll do a lunch stream, just to, figure it out. So this has been Earl Ramp Skakel, Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you guys enjoy the game. Do you send out text alerts when you go live? That could increase numbers. I don't, because I don't know how I would do that. So basically, the only way to find out I'm going live is typically about 5 minutes before I stream. I'll tweet or X. I'll go on X and say, "Hey, going live right now." And you should get, if you are a subscriber on YouTube, you should get a notification. Um, so the Super Bowl baby cakes, non-authorized. So that's really the only ways I advertise I'm going live. But if you are a subscriber, you should get a notification when you log on to YouTube, and it should have Earlverse is live right now. So yeah, that's that. I don't know how I would text people. I don't want to be that annoying. I would imagine that would be annoying if I was texting people, "Hey, I'm going live now." Uh, but who knows? I'm open to any and all um, ideas to get more numbers. So I will take all. People send me ideas all the time. People have sent me. I'm looking at getting a webcam for my iMac. People have sent me a ton of options. So and I realize, like my friend Jordan, the more I stream, the more the numbers will grow organically. So I'm happy, to do that. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't. Yeah, but that would involve me having to get hundreds of emails. Now I know this from my own experience, Luna. I check my email last, so I'm primarily going to advertise a stream on X. Uh, but I appreciate um, the ideas. I'm not saying no to any of them. I mean, you're a fan or whatever, so you're telling me what you want, and so I like to give the fans what they want, because one fan turns into two fans. Yada yada yada. It's like the old shampoo commercial. So I love you all. Earl Skakel, Super Bowl Sunday, checking out a lovely stream today. Uh, oh yeah, you can email me ideas. Hold on, let me do all the promotion to you guys. I mean, I think you guys all follow me anyway, but on social media, I'm very easy to find. You can just I'm at Earl Skakel everywhere. I'm starting to put up all my longer Comedy Store sets on my Patreon, but, basically, I'm on any platform, let's just say so if you wanna find me on, say, PayPal, it's just paypal.com/Earl Skakel, you know, Patreon, be the same thing, patreon.com/Earl Skakel, Twitter, Facebook, I got if I've done anything right, and I've done very few things right in this business, is that I got on all social media and got my name first up. So it's not like, how some people's names are taken and they have to do Earl underscore big S, and then the rest of my name's Skakel. I'm just at Earl Skakel everywhere. So I'm very easy to find. And I do appreciate you guys listening. And that's all. Earl Skakel. See ya.